Hey everyone, Anthon-64 here, and today we're going to team off some more Crash Nitro Kart for the Nintendo Gamecube. Alright, so now last part we taken care of the, I believe the red cup? Gem cup? So now we're going to take care of the green gem cup. But seriously, look at that. That's one really good looking green gem. Like, all the gems really look good, but at the same time it makes me disappointed at how the gem in Rafa Cortex look. The GameCube version, of course. The ones in 360, not 360. I keep thinking 360 because you could play the Xbox version on the 360 and the load times are super short. Anyway, Xbox and PS2 versions, because those versions are so gorgeous. It's like I said earlier, those are, and they are standing as the most beautiful looking gems in the entire franchise. You can't tell me otherwise. Even the relic looks so freaking shiny. Like, it's just so hard to explain how good the quality in those materials look without just thinking about it. And when you're thinking about it, it just looks so lush for its time. And imagine if they were remastered at some point. They would have looked even more gorgeous, and that would have been lovely. And in HD too. Ooh boy. But instead, the only thing we get from HD are the what is it? The two games, modern games. Which is not, again, nothing bad. Nothing bad. A bit of a sad ending, considering there's a lot of things left to talk about on that. But we're not going to delve into that again. It just feels so nice to finally finish up this game. Thank God for spring break. Yeah, if you can't tell by the time I'm recording this, this isn't spring. I'm currently enjoying spring break. It just cut short, and I enjoy spring break. I was saying enjoying spring break, and I was enjoying spring break currently, and I gotta say, I'm using it very wisely since I'm doing something that's actually productive with it. Ironically, since I can't do that much productive when I don't have this kind of time. And when I mean by this kind of time, I mean like a lot of time in the world. Which doesn't make sense, because I usually have all the time in the world when I'm like during like college days, but for some reason I just don't use it. Like, that's why that's pretty much the big reason why I don't record that much. Like, I just don't use those times. I gotta say though, this is gonna be one heck of a thing to record. I don't know that. This is pretty fun though. Like, I think I'm finally starting to calm down with everything. Like, I got super heated when I started talking about both metaphorically and literally, because it is kind of hot in here. Both literally and metaphorically, because of the fact that, like, just the disappointed endings for Crash. So many things left from the story, which is kind of unsatisfactory considering that we just got an ending. Like, the time we actually start getting something, it just ends. And the possibility that we may never get those answers. And I do remember that one photo from the PlayStation, what is it? I think PlayStation Middle East that was talking about the, what is it? I was talking about if Crash could potentially come back. I'm for that. I want that to happen. At least for one more game. Like, I don't want like another stem of a series to something that might end up going on and on and on. But just one more that could just say Crash finally ended. Not dead, but ended. There is a difference, people. A life can end, but a life is not dead. If that makes any sense. A physical life is always dead at some point. Now I can say that for sure. But in terms of like what you would try to accomplish and everything, I don't really think you're really dead, but rather you succeeded in life and now it just ended. Just like, think about Phineas and Ferb, Gravity Falls, all that stuff. Those successfully ended. Like, they didn't end simply because, okay, we have to rush, we have to like get it out now because we're not having enough production or anything like that. But it's rather, we're done. We did everything we could. We did everything we could with the series. I think it's time to put it to rest. And that's what they did. At least with like those games. Crash, I just don't feel it. In fact, no, where's Uka Uka? That's the big question. He is the big evil in all of this, and he was the one who was in control of Cortex. So where is he in this whole thing? And now that I think about it, in Crash 3 with the final boss, you know how Uka got on Cortex's face? Why couldn't he have just stayed on there the whole time and just beat Crash that way? Because with that same power he has on Aku, like Uka has the same amount of power as Aku does. They cancel out each other after all. And on top of that, he could have just stayed invincible the whole thing and the fight would have never ended from there. But no, we can't have that. We can't have smart bosses. I kind of wish at some point we had a smart boss out of a game. Like, one that's purely adaptive. I know some people are probably like, oh no, that's a horrible idea. What the heck are you thinking? But I don't mean like, I mean adaptive. I don't mean like flat out unbeatable. Because we already have enough of those kinds of cliches where if you try to fight someone at the beginning, you're already lost. I hate those, to be honest. I hate anything that where my decision doesn't feel like it matters. That's like my biggest pet peeve in games, where my decisions don't matter. Like when I did that Pokemon Rumble video, like the whole LP, like the game on the Wii, not Wii U, but like where I played as Watada, I had no choice but to die because there was nothing I could have done. I couldn't influence that decision because I was forced to lose. And to be honest, I really hated that because of the fact that my decision just simply didn't matter. Alright, I'm gonna go this way for the sake of Wumpa Fruit. But in other games, there's usually like those kinds of moments where it's like you talk about a decision, but in actuality, it doesn't really matter. That's not necessarily the same with like Xenoblade Chronicles X, because at least that game, the game does offer me a lot of choices, which does help towards affinity and towards personifying who you are. But in the grand scheme of things, there are some decisions where it's like, oh, stop kidding, and stuff like that, where it's like, I mean, I don't hate those because it's not like they're saying the exact same thing, but it's just like, why? When they have games like that where it's like your decision doesn't matter. If it was like a point where the game is telling you that you're someone who's just a part of the thing, not the whole thing itself, then I'd be somewhat okay with the whole your decision doesn't really matter that much in a situation. But if it's a part where you're the main character and like you're the one who's making all the changes for the world, and yet your decision doesn't matter, it makes you really question what is even the point of you making set decisions. In fact, that's the thing I've been hearing about with Bravely Second's the changes in Bravely Second, where like in the European version, apparently you can't have a bad ending with it. It's forced to always give you a good ending, which defeats the whole, which is kind of like the illusion of choice. Which, as I've pointed out over and over and over and over and over again in several games, I hate it.
Congratulations! You have won a gem.
Alright guys, this is it. We have one course, and this is the hardest course in the entire game. So, this is Nocturnal, this is for Silent. Thank you guys for watching.